Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first post-game commentary. It's Billy, and I'm trying something new here. I'm trying a post-game recording commentary of the games I played. I want to see kind of how this goes, maybe see what my thought process was during the game. If you could just let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you seem to like it or not, and I'll go from there. So first, I'm going first, and I'm playing against my friend who's playing Cosmo Dragoons, and I'm playing Electrodeity. He's trying it out. And so I charge and draw, and I call Kitabuki, get Omaru. This is kind of like my first time trying the card. I've seen some Japanese playlists play it, and I wanted to see if it was really worth it or not, or if it had some merit. So I called Kitabuki, and I equipped my item, and then I swung for 3, and so it's my friend's turn. And he's playing Cosmo Dragoon, and let's see here. So he drew and we have some pauses. I think at this point he's trying to just think of what to charge and draw. He eventually does, just because I don't think he's ever... I think he's played Electrodeities, but I don't think he's ever played Cosmo Dragoons against Electrodeities. So the first thing he's going to do is play his weapon, and then when he entered main phase, I just possess into Amaterasu and Buddy Possess. He plays the check top 5 and rearrange, and I nullify it because I figured he's trying to get his top of his deck set up to make plays. So I'm like, okay, I might as well just stop that. At this point, I didn't know if I was either going to counter and gain 2 life and draw, or play the spell null, but I decided obviously the spell null was probably good. So he plays Tiptree, checks the top deck, and it was a Cosmo Dragoon, so he did draw. And let's see. And at this point, I'm pretty sure I already gained 2 life and draw. So we'll just have to see if he does anything else. I do have the 1 gauge ready for overkill, and it won't be too good against. Well, the overkill won't be good for my friend Steve. He's I believe both his monsters have no souls, so they'll just get wiped out currently. Okay, then he plays another Cosmo Dragoon. I actually don't remember which one that is off the top of my head. I'm not great with many decks other than Katana World, so bear with me. Fortunately, the lighting was just right where I could figure out. I can see the artwork, so I can check on my end here and let you guys know. He's still trying to figure. There's some pauses. He's just trying to figure out what he wants to do. Especially now that right now that he knows that Shooting Demonic Deity Kitabuki's on the field, so it's like really no matter what he calls necessarily, it won't save him from having to deal with the overkill. So he swings, I overkill. I believe I did have a shield in my hand at this point, but because between the item and then the 2 monsters link attacking, I know I couldn't shield both attacks. So beginning of my turn, Amaterasu bounces back and Kitabuki goes off, so I pop both of his monsters, deal 2, charge and draw, transform. I believe that's Amaterasu. I can't see exactly from the... Yes, it is Amaterasu. So I use her skill, gain a gauge, gets double attack, 8,000 power. Call Tora, gauge and draw, since I have Electrodeity on the field. Play the draw 2, but if I have a soul, draw 3, the prayer harvest, ceremony harvest prayer. Or no, ritual harvest prayer. Man, I can't. It's either ritual or ceremony. I can't remember off the top of my head, but draw 3 off of that. At this point, my board is pretty good. I did leave Kitabuki on the field. Okay, I call Shuto. I'm going to leave Kitabuki on the field because next turn I'm just going to leave him off to the side, and now Steve will have to either deal with Kitabuki, or if he wants to try to end the game, go after me. But it kind of, leaves pressure on the field if he doesn't end the game. So, but right now I'm playing Electrodeity return. I'm grabbing Otora and Susanoo. I don't believe I had Susanoo in my hand prior to this, so I just grabbed Susanoo for next turn. And I enter battle, move Kitabuki over. Just trying to weigh my options. So I could go for a 3 crit to try to bait a shield. And he plays a spell null, and it was the heal one, so he topped a Cosmo Dragoon, so he gained a life, and I believe it goes to his hand, so yeah. So I swing for 2, and then just swing for 1, and then pass the turn. I believe, and I can't remember off the top of my head, I believe I had the spell Uzu Ikazuchi, but I may have forgotten to play it if I did have it. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a long day with, one heck of a match. But we'll get to that later. But right now, Steve's charging and drawing. And let's see what he does. I can't remember. I mean, he's in a tight spot because, he's at 1 life, so even if he calls a monster, and if he isn't able to successfully get rid of Kitabuki, then, Kitabuki can just go off and, deal damage and win the game. So he plays the check top 5 spell, and he can rearrange it however he wants and then draw a card. I need to figure out which spell that is. I feel like I could say what it is, but I'm not 100% sure if it's what I'm thinking it is. Cosmo? No, not Cosmo Salute. I can't remember. So I have like no I have no memory other than like just jackknife of what card names are in Star Dragon World. So yeah, he's just kind of debating how he wants to play it. I mean, Cosmo Dragoons, take a little bit of thinking, just trying to remember how you organize the top of your deck. So he's just trying to make sure it's right. Cosmo Dragoons really, I noticed, between this match and the next match, they really struggle with trying to hit the 12, 15k power that Amaterasu has. It seems like if they are able to hit it, it's like once, twice if they're really lucky, and like you have no shields or anything. But I mean, that's kind of the it's kind of how the Shin Buddyfight decks are right now. They're kind of they're strong. They're not broken, but they're just very strong. So I believe that's Bradbury. And then he plays the size 0. I can't remember what that one is. Or is that a size 0? No, I think it's a size 1. I can't remember. I'm like trying to flip through the wiki here to see if I can find what their names are off the top of my head. I am struggling and failing miserably. So he swings with the weapon at Kitabuki, which is wise, because, don't want that laying around. Checks top 3 to rearrange them however he wants. Mainly, I think, it's just so Bradbury can go off correctly. In this kind of situation, I don't believe he has enough power to actually even hit Amaterasu, so I believe he's going to just try to swing for Shuto in just a minute. Yeah, he swings to Shuto. And then he swings to Shuto again. Checks the top card. It is a Cosmo Dragoon, so I do take a damage and he gains a life, fortunately. And I believe... Nope, it goes to the bottom of the deck. I can't remember these cards, what they do. And then he goes to swing again. And it also got double attack, so he goes to swing again. And it wasn't a Cosmo Dragoon, so just goes back to the bottom of the deck. So ends this turn. Amaterasu bounces back to hand. At this point, I'm kind of basically in full swing. So I charge and draw. I'll probably, I believe I possess into Susanoo. And with the penetrate triple attack, that's going to really hurt. But I haven't paid the life yet. But I charge and draw. Call another Otora. And charge and draw. Pay a life to activate Susanoo's skill. And then I play the Uzu Ikazuchi. So every time I swing, I'll pop a card on his field and deal damage with my item. Every time I swing with the item, not Otora's. And my item's critical can't be... Actually, no, all the Electrodeity's criticals can't be reduced with Uzu Ikazuchi. Forgot about that. And just trying to explain it to Steven, just how it works as well. So... Let's see. Oh yeah, and then he just conceded because it was obviously. All right, on to the second game here. Sorry, the audio for the first game just cut out. Still just trying to get everything just straightened in the post game productions. So I believe Steven is going first. Yes, he is. Obviously, if it's Electrodeity, always want to go first to try to set up sooner. They're always slow on the first turn they play because they can't possess into the item or to the size 3 the first turn. So Steven draws. He's just trying to debate on what he wants to charge and draw. Okay, he actually decided not to charge and draw and just go straight into his item. Then I believe that is Cosmo Salute. So he gains a gauge, draw, and then he checks the top card, and I believe he can choose to put it on top or bottom, so he leaves it on top. And he just decides to swing for 2. So my turn, I draw. And I don't remember off the top of my head, I feel like I had maybe I had a hand I think I had to kind of work with, so I was trying to debate on what I wanted to charge and draw exactly. So far, actually, every game I've played of Electrodeities, I've actually been able to at least get the item and a Amaterasu. Yeah, okay, so I was struggling this game a little bit. So I was able to get a Amaterasu, but not the item. And, so I played a Amaterasu, I played a Tora, to at least try to fish a little bit, do a little bit of digging. I believe I still didn't get... I believe I have, okay, actually, yeah, I'm digging even more trying to play, the Bell. So I gain 3 gauge, check 5, seeing if I can find either the Bell or at least one of the tutors for it. So I know I get there, I don't remember how exactly I get there. Okay, yeah, I had to play Miracle Fighters. Okay, and so I played Miracle Fighters, and I'm searching for the item. Yep, the Kyra Bell. And so I equipped the Kyra Bell. I use a Amaterasu skill of gain 2 life and draw a card instead of gain a gauge to get double attack, because I know I'm not going to be able to actually finish him off this turn, so might as well just try to regain the advantage of gaining 2 life and drawing a card, because then I'll just do the exact same thing on his turn again to gain 2 more life and draw a card. I call over Otoro with Shuto, because I believe I do have a Amaterasu in hand for his turn. So I just swing for 2, 0 power, but hey, it's 2 crit. So he takes, no he doesn't actually, he shields that. Probably just fear of taking any excess damage. So he plays Cosmo Heal Barrier. It was a Cosmo Dragoon, so he gains a life and, draw, and it goes to his hand, and then just swung with the item and Shuto for 2 damage total. So just at the beginning of his turn, I did gain 2 more life and draw off of the Amaterasu on the field. I just like to do it as soon as possible, just so I have all my options as soon as possible in case I draw into Sakura Fubuki or anything like that. Or if he plays like a counter, spell to try to kill Amaterasu. And so it's his main phase. My buddy possessed into Amaterasu. I use the equipped Amaterasu to gain 2 life and draw another card. And he plays 5th Focus to pay a gauge and check the top 5. And I finally remembered what that card's name was. So he's just trying to rearrange them at this point. At this point, I mean, I've got my board kind of set up. I've got Amaterasu's defenses up, with Shuto helping the item. So he's got to kind of climb some hurdles. So, but he's just doing some basic setup of Cosmo Dragoons at the moment. Just kind of waiting. Overall, the Shin Buddyfight decks have actually been pretty fun. Our locals didn't really care about the first set, but the ultimate boosters and some of the set 2 that's going to be coming out, we are kind of interested in those. So then he plays 5th Focus, gain a gauge, draw, check top card, and he leaves it there. And I think at this point he's just trying to figure out what he wants to do. It's it's just kind of figuring out. So he's going for more advantage. Checks the top card. It is a Cosmo Dragoon, so it goes to his hand, and then he draws another card. I think kind of at this point he's trying to debate on playing either advantage cards or cards that just have enough power to even hit a Amaterasu. It's just a lot of high defense, so it's just takes a little bit of processing, probably. Let's see. I am sitting pretty at 14 life, though. Cosmo Dragoons, when you have some defense, they're not too scary. Obviously, if you're kind of open center with no form of item defense, then yeah, it's gonna kind of, Cosmo Dragoons can kind of punch real hard and real fast. But the defense of Amaterasu kind of slows him down, so. Looks like Steven's still trying to figure out what he wants to do exactly. He's probably trying to figure out what size 2 or 3 he probably wants to call. He plays, I can't tell what that one is exactly off the top of my head. Oh, that is... I believe that's Aldous. Yeah, so he when Aldous enters the field, he destroys a monster. So he's just destroyed a Amaterasu. Then he used the act of checking the top card, and it wasn't a Cosmo Dragoon, so Shuto stayed alive. Poor old Shuto, just always getting swung at. But he is a good Electrodeity. He takes the punches. So he swings at Shuto because he can't hit the 15,000 defense. So then he ends the turn. So my turn. Amaterasu bounces, and I draw, charge, and draw. Possess back into Amaterasu. Oh, let's see. And I play Goryu. It's basically the Daryl Burke of Electrodeities. You can only play her once per turn. But when she enters the field, you just check top 3 and put one to hand. The other 2 go to drop. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what the best options is comparing my hand to the card. So choose one, throw them to drop. You don't have to show your opponent. You just choose a card. Pretty solid card. A little bit of fishing. So I play Kagura, Welcome Electrodeities, or Electrodeity Welcome. I can't remember which order the words are. So I gain 3 gauge, check all 5, put 1 to hand, then put the other 4 back. It's a good way to kind of rearrange the cards in your gauge if you have certain cards you want to pay gauge for to get into the drop zone. But I play Otora, charge and draw. I play Harvest Ritual to draw 3. Card is dumb. I feel like it shouldn't be draw 3, but hey, I'm not Bushy Road. Play Shuten Ibuki. Make Steven work for that swing to Amaterasu, apparently. Not looking too good for him. I play Uzui Kizuchi to kind of see if I can solidify the turn. And then I play Shuto to just at least be ready for next turn to have 15,000 defense. It's not like Otora's going to do anything more than Shuto, so... and I leave Uzui Kizuchi on the field just so I don't forget the swing effects, that's all. It's not a set spell or anything, I just don't want to forget. So I swing with Amaterasu, pop his item, burn him a damage, but he does play Cosmo. I believe that's the charge one. Can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, I believe he nullifies it. So stands back up for double attack, swings again, skill, pops what's his name? Aldous and burns for 1. At this point, I think it's pretty much game. I think he's going to scoop in a second, but just I guess while we're kind of wrapping up here, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this. I haven't seen a lot of people commentate on Buddyfight games. It's been more of just, you know, watching. So yeah, let me know. Right, so I play Festival and swing, burn him for 1, and then deal 2. And he doesn't have any Cosmo Dragoons on the field, so I don't believe he can play any of the spells. I'm just explaining to him that the burn goes off no matter if I pop a card or not. So have a great day, you guys. And this is kind of right at the end. Bye.